Hi, welcome. So today's pick card reading is going to be what is your person's love language? I tried making this reading for like so many times now, like 4 times or 5 times, but I just don't understand myself why I keep on repeating it. And then I suddenly kind of like got this idea that maybe I should also include what is your person's current action towards you, just to see if this is going to coincide with their love language, something like that. Because personally, if I watch like a love language topic reading, something like that, I wouldn't really find myself super engaged or super interested to hear the reading because it doesn't have any relation to me. So, yeah. And as always, if you don't want to hear the introduction, get the hell out of this channel. I mean, skip the video if that makes sense. Because I know most people are kind of like, oh my gosh, why does she keep on doing long introductions and she's annoying and all this kind of stuff. And the thing is, I just had this big nostalgia of why I freaking started this channel in the first place. And my not core value, but the main big reason as to why I started doing pick a card readings is because I want to hear myself talk. I want to hear myself express things that I want to say, because usually, I don't really have that chance to do that in person because most people don't really give a fuck about what I have to say. Real talk, people do not give a fuck about what we have to say because they only care about what they have to say. And second, I just want to see if I'm psychic or something, but I still haven't proven that, by the way, so, I don't know what's the point of me telling this in this introduction, but basically, this introduction is going to be another embarrassing, just talk about some shit in here, because a lot of tarot readers use this deck in here, but for some reason, just like the other unboxing thing that I did in the last reading, I feel very drawn to this deck. And it's also because I want to read the guidebook. I'm not really interested in astrology and stuff like that. I don't really give a fuck about astrology, but I am interested talking about astrology, if that makes sense. And my knowledge about astrology, or not really astrology, but more of the astrology signs only, is like 1%. I don't know anything about it at all. And so, oh my gosh, what am I doing? So yeah, this is how it... Why am I ruining this deck? I'm very careful with my stuff. So, it's a very old deck, by the way. A lot of people already know this deck, but I just like the box of it because it's like a book. It's really nice, and I also like the guidebook because I don't know. So since I don't really have any freaking idea about astrology, I decided to memorize all the freaking things written in this guidebook. But the problem is, stock knowledge doesn't really work with me. I can't believe it. I don't remember anything at all. Like, I just finished memorizing all of the contents, but I don't remember it anymore. So that's stupid. Anyway, speaking of love language though, we all know that we have different kinds of love language. Like, a simple word like I love you doesn't really mean so much. Like, for some people, they say like, oh, I love you so much, you're the most important person in my life. I was about to say in my world, but usually that doesn't really make any sense. Because everyone has different kinds of love language. And speaking of love language again, I remember this one stupid scenario that happened before, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna laugh about it or if I'm gonna be disgusted about it, but hopefully for very teeny weeny people that's gonna, watch this introduction, hopefully they don't really find it offensive, because it's no way kind of like trying to judge other people, if that makes sense. But I have this one scenario with a friend before, and we had some sort of activity. So, we have to live independently with a foster parent. And then we got the chance to be alone together in one room. And she suddenly confronted me, and, no one's really around us, so it's not really awkward to talk about stuff. But she suddenly confronted me and asked me, like, can you be honest with me? Like, do you have romantic feelings for me? And the funny thing is that she's a freaking female. Like, again, like, no offense to people who's into the same sex, but, to me, I find it offensive when people kind of like misinterpret my, is that gender identity or sexual orientation? I'm not sure, but something like that. Like, it's the same for people who's heterosexual. Like, if you call them like, oh, you're interested in females or in males, they will also find it offensive because they're into the same sex. And that confrontation was really awkward. I mean, I was like, huh? What are you talking about? Like, how did you have that kind of conclusion that I'm interested in another woman or another girl or another female or whatever the case may be? And she was like, oh, you're always nice to me, you're always helping me out, you're always complimenting me, and you never tell me who you're interested in. And I was I don't know, like, that's the usual thing a friend would do to another friend, right? So I don't see it as something like malicious in some ways. And I tried telling her that I'm not really romantically interested in her, but she was just really forceful. Like, no, I know you're romantically interested in me. Like, every male in our school likes me anyway. And I don't know, she's like the most narcissistic friend that I ever had in my life. And at that time, I was already being analytical about stuff, because I was like, okay, if I say something nasty to this person right here, right now, I'm gonna ruin the friendship. But if I do the universe at the same time and be like, maybe you're the one who's romantically interested in me and all that kind of stuff, it will be stupid, because she's already in a relationship with a guy, and she would be like, girl, why would I be interested in you? I'm in a relationship with a guy. Like, that would be so stupid. So yeah, so that's how I can confirm that Aquarius people's minds are pretty fucked up, because she's an Aquarius. And speaking of Aquarius, I have these astrology cards in here. So I think that's a great idea. By the way, with that friend that I have, I guess I'm not really mad about the fact that she thought that I'm into the same sex, but I'm more mad about the fact that she thinks that I'm going to be interested in her. And knowing the fact that I hate Aquarius people. I mean, no offense, but I have my own sentiments as to why I hate Aquarius people. And speaking of Aquarius people, this is just my own observation, so, it might not be really factual, it might be fake news or something like that, but this is just my own, everything that I'm going to say about each astrology signs is based on my own observations and compatibility with the people that I've met in my life. So, and at the same time, I don't really have any idea about astrology signs that much. For me, I always viewed Aquarius people to be kind of like narcissistic, and I just want to say that I think everyone in this world does have narcissism about them. It's just a matter of how intensified their narcissism is, because, no one in this world are really completely like 0% a narcissist, because if that kind of person exists in this world, that only means that person has a lot of insecurities and that person doesn't believe in themselves, So I do believe that everyone is a narcissist. It just depends on how worse it is. But what I notice about Aquarius people is that they do have the tendency to be, kind of like narcissistic and competitive in nature. And a lot of people, it's always known that Aquarius people are known to be the eccentric, quirky astrology sign. But to me, I never really saw them as someone quirky, but more of moody. If they are quirky, their quirkiness never fascinated me. What I also notice about Aquarius people is that they do have the tendency to be prone to jealousy or enviousness towards other people. Now, I'm not sure if that's true, that's just my own observation. I've met few Aquarius people, and I saw a very common thing about them, where they tend to be like, oh, I'm better than you, you loser, kind of thing. They have that, I don't know, they just have that, they always think that they're much more better than other people. I mean, everyone feels that way in some point of their life, but Aquarius people are very, very obvious with that. They tend to compare themselves a lot to other people, which I find annoying because I don't like competitive people. So my conclusion about Aquarius people is that since they're very prone to jealousy or enviousness towards other people, in my opinion, they tend to use their competitive nature as a defense mechanism to cover up their insecurities. Now, again, I'm not sure if that's true, but that's just what I noticed. But at the same time, maybe there's nothing really wrong about Aquarius people. It's just the fact that maybe I'm not compatible with Aquarius people. Maybe Leo people are not compatible with Aquarius people. I'm not sure. But, of course I'm not going to be roasting Aquarius people all the way, because I do recognize their good qualities as well. Because what I like about Aquarius people is that, they're very good friends. They're definitely very good friends. Like, they would be the type of people to stay by your side till the end of time. My Aquarius friend, the Aquarius friend that I'm talking about earlier, she's a very generous person. I'm not sure if Aquarius people are generous people, but she's very generous. She's the type of friend to kind of like wait for you for so many hours and will never leave you behind. I would say they're kind of like, I don't want to say faithful friends, but the world will turn their back on you, everyone will turn their back on you, but not Aquarius people. I guess it's just really hard to level up or, stoop in Aquarius people's level, because they're, kind of like, like they said, they're quirky. So, and it's funny because I have Neptune and Uranus Aquarius. So, I mean, it's not like I can do anything about it. Like, I didn't wish to have Aquarius in my chart or something like that. But, So, yeah. So, we got into the signs now. So, I would, talk about what I noticed about each signs based on my own observations, like I said. So, Capricorn. I don't really have so much thoughts about Capricorn people, since I always viewed them as the neutral astrology sign, and I usually tend to ignore the Capricorn sign for some reason. So what I like about Capricorn people is that just in my observation, I'm not really sure if they're really neutral. I think they're pretty balanced in some ways. Like, they're not super exaggerated like Leos. They're not super dramatic like Cancer people. They're, they're, something about them is like, they remind me of a straight line. Like, there's something about them that's pretty consistent. With Capricorn females, though, I'm not super exposed with Capricorn females. I mean, I'm not super exposed with Capricorns in general, but especially females, I don't really. I have one Capricorn female friend right now, but I think I haven't really interacted with them that much. But with Capricorn males, I'm very familiar of their shit. Because most of, how should I put it? Like, and I just realized it like a while ago that most of the men that that I was interested in were Capricorn people. And that's freaking strange. I mean, Capricorns, I'm not sure, but it's strange. And honestly, I don't really want to deal with another Capricorn. Because to me, just based on my observation, Capricorn males are very hard to decipher. Like, they're very hard to read if they're really interested in you or not. You don't know if they're just being friendly with you or they're already kind of like romanticizing about you. And what I also notice about Capricorn males is that they're very, 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 very intelligent. Like, and they're usually logical in the way they deal with connections. They feel with their mind. They feel with their mind, not with their heart. And another thing that I notice about Capricorn, now I'm not sure if this is for all Capricorn males, but they're usually not really in the dating scene. They're usually not the type of people to be in a relationship with a lot of people, because they're kind of like, I describe them as someone who's selfish. They only care about themselves. Like, they're very self-focused. Like, you will wait for a very, 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 very long time before they take action towards you. They're very slow. I mean, there's nothing really wrong about being slow. Maybe they'll only plan on taking action towards you when you're about to die or something. And what I also notice about them is that they're more comfortable with surrounding themselves with females more than males. Now, I'm not sure if that's a fact, but that's just what I noticed. They have this very feminine energy about them. I mean, you know, everyone has their masculine and feminine side, but these Capricorn males are more embodying a feminine energy about them. I think Capricorn males are desirable for long-term relationships, but the problem with them is that their partners will end up getting bored with them because they only care about how they can achieve and be successful in the material world. And it's funny, and you know, it's written here like goals, day-to-day reality, like they're all about the material stuff in life. They're not the most romantic kind of individuals, I think. What I also like about Capricorn males is that they have this very corporate energy about them. They always look so professional for some reason. Like, when you look at the Capricorn male, they always seem like they are supposed to be respected in some ways. I don't know how to explain the energy, but they have this very... They kind of like remind me of a guy who just came out of shower. I think Capricorns are not really compatible for Leo people. Just because Leos are all about, you know, they prefer having time with their people, with their person, like getting attention. But since Capricorns are very focused on themselves and how they can be, you know, like successful in front of other people, their image, I don't think that's gonna work out, Capricorn. So, you got... I already talked about Aquarius people, so let's skip that shit in here. Pisces. With Pisces people, though, I don't really have anything negative to say about them because I'm not super exposed to Pisces people. I think this is like one of those signs that I'm not super interacted, that I don't really have a chance to interact with. But what I notice about Pisces in general is that, how should I put it? Like, it doesn't matter how old they are or something, but I just noticed that there is some sort of childlike energy about them. It's not how they talk, it's not how they act, but it's more of their energy. Like, I don't understand. There's something childlike about them. And this is like one of those people that I feel compelled to listen to a lot. Because Pisces people are like, they would talk about something normal or usual to you, but I would always find their, how should I put it? I would always find their topics to be very interesting, but when I try to have that kind of conversation with someone else who is not really a Pisces, I would find myself very bored about it. So I don't know, there's something really, really engaging about Pisces people. So that's something like a really good thing about them. What I also notice about Pisces people is that they're very knowledgeable, but their knowledge is not really coming from the book, if that makes sense. It's not like really academically based when it comes to their knowledge. It's more of, I don't know if they created that knowledge themselves, but it's more of, their own observations. There's something intriguing about them. Like, even if it's a Pisces female, I have this one Pisces female friend before, and a lot of people do not really like her. A lot of people are avoiding her because she's very strange, she's very mysterious, but I'm like one of those people who's really excited to talk to her because she's the type of person to talk about Bermuda Triangle, like, conspiracy theories kind of thing. So, I always feel happy to talk with her or to talk to her. And I'm not sure if Pisces people are known to be the psychic astrology sign out of all the signs. I don't know, because again, I don't have any idea about astrology. But what I notice about them is that they're psychic, like, yeah. I think they would be the type of person to, see ghosts or spirits, something like that. But what I notice about Pisces males, though, is that they tend to be, how should I put it? They tend to be crazy about their love interest. I'm not sure if that's true, but they would be the type of person to sacrifice. Is that Neptune? Like, is Pisces Neptune? And I saw Neptune is all about sacrificing shits in here. And I feel like Pisces males are the type of males to sacrifice a lot just for a person. So, I'm not sure. So, Aries. With Aries people, though, I don't really have much to say as well. Although I do like Aries people. Fire signs. I like fire signs, but they tend to be hot-headed. They easily get annoyed about stuff. And I also feel like they're the type of person who never listens. They never listen. They only listen to themselves. And I also feel like when it comes to relationships, though, they're the type of people to, be blinded about love. I do see that. Whether it's a male or a female, I've seen similarities with them. Taurus. Taurus was like my favorite astrology sign before. Just because I find them very attractive when they're mad. And yeah, I know that's a stupid reason to like Taurus people, but I don't know, but I find them kind of funny when they get mad. But what I notice about Taurus people is that they have a hard time letting go of their past baggages. It's almost like they're the kind of people to be in a relationship with someone, but at the same time, they still love their ex. They're the kind of people to kind of like hoard different people in their vicinity. But at the same time, they're not really emotionally invested in those people because he is still, or not he, they are still invested, emotionally invested in their ex. So it's almost like, girl number 1, girl number 2, girl number 3, they're just freaking substitutes. But this person, it makes sense because Taurus people are very possessive people. So it's almost like, even though they don't really have any feelings for the other people that they're dealing with, they want to keep those people because they like hoarding. I know one specific motherfucker who's the same person like I mentioned. And it's freaking annoying. these people are very stubborn to move on. Like, I don't really get why they have to do that. Like, what's the point of you still living on this earth if you can't even, move on from the past? If you're still dwelling on the past. Life is all about moving forward. And I know it's difficult to release past baggages, but, the fact that you had the guts to court people or be in a relationship with other people while you're still emotionally invested with someone else is pure bullshit. But what I like about Taurus people is that, they're known to be calm individuals. They're not the type of people to get, just in my observation, they're not the type of people to get angry very easily. But once they do, it's pretty unpredictable, it's pretty impulsive, and it's like, a big explosion. And it's really funny. Gemini. So Gemini, I don't really have anything to say about Gemini as well because I'm not super exposed with Gemini people. Although I do have Gemini rising in Jupiter, but I cannot really say what's the positive thing about Gemini and what's the negative thing about them. So maybe I'm gonna be skipping Gemini though. Cancer. I guess what I only hate about Cancers is that, they're known to be the moodiest sign of the astrology signs, I think. Like, because they're ruled by the moon, and moon changes phases all the freaking time, and they're not stable as fuck. But, I mean, no one is really stable with their moods, but Cancer in particular are all over the place. And just based on my interaction and experience with my Cancer friends, you always have to adjust to them all the freaking time. And especially, it's going to be a big burden, especially if you're a Leo or if you're a fire sign. Especially Leos, they're very impulsive. They're very, they're not really careful with their actions and words at times. And Cancer people are very sensitive. They easily crawl back to their shell. So, it's like a constant challenge for Leos to interact with Cancer people, because Leos, Leo people can adjust to Cancers, but Cancers cannot adjust to Leos. That's the problem. I swear to God, if you're a fire sign and you get involved with a Cancer person, you're gonna dim your light. I mean, maybe not really in a negative way, but I'm just saying that you're not going to be completely yourself when you're with a Cancer person. Maybe for some people you're gonna be having a good interaction with Cancers, but I feel like for fire signs, it's not really going to be a super authentic kind of friendship or relationship, because there's something about their, I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe it's just how I interact with Cancer people, maybe I'm just not really super compatible with them. But whenever I'm with Cancer people, I always feel like I have to fake myself. They easily get hurt. And what I also notice about Cancer people is that they're prone to sadness or depression because, again, they're moody, and I feel like they're the type of people who cannot really control their emotions. So I feel like they tend to seek for people who's much more stable with their moods. I had this one female friend before who's a Cancer as well, and the last time that I remember, we had a really, really good interaction. We had a good hangout, but then the next day I was really shocked because she suddenly avoided me, and she would always avoid eye contact with me. And I don't know what freaking happened that time. Maybe she got jealous because I have new friends or something like that. But of course, I ignored her. I ignored her as well, because why would I fucking waste my time and chase her like something like that? I wouldn't waste my time on her. If you don't like me, I don't like you. I'm not gonna waste my shit chasing after people who cannot appreciate my existence, basically. But yeah, I don't know what happened in that friendship though. I mean, it's not really a big loss in my life. What I really like about Cancer males though, now I'm not sure if this is going to identify the whole Cancer males out there, but what I notice about them is that they tend to wear their heart on their sleeves. They're not the kind of people to make you guess like, like, oh, I'm gonna be acting guarded, so this person is going to be much more attracted and intrigued by me or of me or to me, something like that. They're pretty expressive with their feelings, like they're loving, caring, sweet, and all that kind of stuff, which is really ideal for connections. But the problem with them is that they easily give up on you. Like, it doesn't matter if they have a lot of deep feelings for you. If you say one little thing that they don't want to hear, they're gonna drop you in a second. With Cancer females though, what I like about them is that they're usually low-key, shy, and they're not super aggressive. They're usually kind of conservative as well, just like one sign that I'm gonna be talking about later. But yeah, they kind of like remind me of the song like, I'm a little tea but short and stout. Like they're pretty adorable in some ways. I mean, not all Cancer females, but they have this very cute energy about them. They're usually very feminine. Leo. I have different opinions about Leo males and Leo females. But what I notice about Leo females is that they're usually intimidating. Like, I'm not sure if this is also applicable to me because I'm a Leo, but what I notice about other Leo females is that they usually have this regal air about them, like regal appearance or presence about them, that you will feel very intimidated and feel very small when you're around them. I'm not really super exposed with Leo females. I see Leo females, but I haven't had any Leo female friend just yet. And I don't really have any plans of having so because, I don't know, even though I'm a Leo, I always find myself very intimidated by other Leo females. Just in my observation, I feel like Leo females are not really the type of people to make friends. How should I put it? They're pretty picky with the people that they interact with. And we all know that Leos are narcissistic bitches as well. Narcissistic assholes. The ironic thing about Leos in general, whether it's a male or a female, is that they tend to be selfish. But at the same time, they're overgiving. They're very generous. I feel like Leos are filled with irony because, I don't know, they're pretty fucked up in some ways. Like, especially in love and relationships. Leo females, I feel like Leo females are not really the type of people. I'm not sure if this is like the whole general thing, but I feel like Leo females are not the type of people to chase after someone. But at the same time, they're also the type of people to easily like someone. And another thing is that, they easily catch feelings for someone, but at the same time, they easily move on from that person. They're not the type of people to waste time on shits. Like, once they figure out that you're not really interested in them, or they have this perception that you're not really interested in them, it's fucking over. Like, they move on very quickly. But with Leo males though, I'm not sure if this is going to apply to all Leo males out there, but I noticed that they're pretty consistent, persistent, and pushy in some ways. But I feel like Leo males are not the type of people to play mind games with you. They're pretty upfront. They're pretty obvious if they're interested in you. They're not the kind of people, like, they're not like the usual people out there who's like, okay, I'm gonna be responding to this person after a few hours just to let her know that I'm very busy, that I have my own life, that I'm not obsessed with her, even though the real truth is they're just lying in the bed and, doing bullshit in their life. Leos are pretty much like, if they really like you, they're not gonna waste time. Like, they're like the type of person that if you message them, they're gonna respond to you afterwards, like after seconds that you sent your message. I feel like Leo males can have the tendency to chase people. I mean, Leo females can still chase a person depending on how intense their feelings are. if that makes sense. If they feel like the person is really, really the one for them, or really, really promising, they're gonna do everything just to chase that person. But if they feel like it's just another piece of shit in their life, they're not gonna waste their energy on that. I guess the only thing that I hate about Leo males is that they're very arrogant. They're very aggressive. Virgo, fucking Virgos. At last, I saw you, Virgo. It's been a while. With this one, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be factual in my statement about Virgos because I'm really, really exposed to Virgos. I know how they tick, I know how they work. But one of the things that I really hate about Virgos, by the way, I'm not super exposed to Virgo males, so I'm going to be talking about Virgo females. Virgo females. One of the things that I really hate about Virgo females is they cannot take a joke. They may joke around with you, but they're the type of people who always take things offensively, seriously. Like, even if you're trying to be friendly with them, they're always very critical about things. They will analyze it and they will be like, oh shit, this person is, like attacking me or something like that. They're very guarded, which I really hate. Well, maybe not really guarded. What's the right term? They're defensive. I'm gonna say that all of the Virgo people that I've been with, that I've been friends with, they're like Cancer people. But I can still adjust to Cancer people, but not with Virgos. I see Virgo people as very unpredictable. You don't know when will they explode. You don't know what makes them offended. What makes them offended and what makes them not offended. One of the most annoying things about Virgos is that they tend to call you out, even in the little things. Because, especially with Leos, I'm talking about Leos because I'm familiar with a Leo because I'm a Leo, but Leos are usually don't really care much about stuff. Maybe with beauty, they care about beauty, but they're the kind of people who's not super meticulous like Virgos. Virgos are, like very detailed and I want this to be like this, I want that to be like that. Like it's annoying. And it's ironic because I have Virgo moon. And again, it's not like I can do anything about it. Like, it's not like I force myself. The thing about Virgos is that they don't want you to be offensive to them, but at the same time, the way they talk to you is very offensive. That's one of the things that I hate about Virgos. Like, the way they interact, the way they, react to things, I don't like it. I don't know. By the way, I'm not generalizing Virgo females out there. Maybe not all Virgos are like this, but maybe all of the Virgos I've met, probably like 5 of them have the same attitude, have the same behavior, have the same personality, whatever the case may be. I met this one Virgo female before, and I told her something very friendly. It's a very nice statement though. Maybe not nice, like it's kind of like I know when I'm offensive or not, and I try to be very sensitive of her, and I said something very lighthearted and friendly to her, and I don't know why, I don't know what happened. She just got freaking mad at me. Like, she's very unpredictable when she gets mad, and that really pissed me off because I was like, shit, this person doesn't have any common sense or something. Like, this person cannot understand things. This person is it's not feeble-minded. Like, I think that's feeble-minded, not fickle-minded. Maybe they're also fickle-minded, but the thing about Virgos is that they like analyzing things, but they lack comprehension. Or maybe they're too impatient to comprehend things, and they just react very easily, like, oh my gosh, why did you say that? And what I also notice about Virgos, which makes sense because they're considered as the virgins, like, they're very conservative in some ways. I've never heard any Virgo swear or say a bad word. I mean, I know one person and she's a family member, but all of the Virgo friends that I know, they never said something like, oh, fuck you, bitch, you ugly asshole. Like, they're not. They're pretty. I would describe them like saints, but at the same time, they're offensive saints. Or maybe not offensive saints, but demonic saints. Like, I cannot even explain the feeling. Virgo people are the type of people to be like, if they hear you swear, they would call you out and be like, oh, you shouldn't say that, that's bad, or something like that. Like, what are you? Are you a first grader or something? Maybe Virgo females are really good to be friends with if you are, maybe another earth sign or water sign. A lot of people like Virgo people, but I guess I'm one of those few people who hates Virgos. The last thing that I hate about Virgos, just based on my observation, is that Virgos are really good with playing the victim. Like, they would be the suspect in a situation and create a messy situation for most people. And then they know how to act as the victim. They're very good with that. I'm so sorry, Virgos, if there are some Virgos that's gonna watch this introduction, if there's gonna be watching this introduction. I'm so sorry if you'll feel triggered. Like, again, these traits are just something that I notice about the Virgos that I've interacted with. It's not really, general in some ways. Maybe some Virgos are good or, nice people to be around with. So the positive thing that I like about Virgos, I guess what I like about them is they think. Oh, this is so contradicting because usually Virgos can be really offensive with their words as well. But Virgos tend to do things, or they say things, how should I put that? They're very cautious, calculated. They're very critical about things before they act. So, they got their shit together. They know what they're doing. But I don't know. I don't want to roast Virgos. Although I want to roast Virgos, but I also don't want to roast Virgos. I feel like Virgo people are very ideal to be friends with, but they're not really ideal to be your Bonnie and Clyde or partners in crime, ride or die. They're killjoys. And at the same time, they're like, oh, let's have some tea party. They're the type of friends. Their friendship is something like that. I don't know. They're not the type of people to be like, do some daredevil stuff. They're not the type of people to, go to bars and have a lot of fucking fun. I don't know, Virgos. Take some rest. So you got Libra. With Libra people, I'm not really super exposed to Libras, but I have a conclusion about them for males and females. But the sad thing is that Libra females do not have the best I don't really have the best impression about Libra females. I don't know if this is just me, but based on my observation from all the I haven't moved on from Virgo. Based on my observation about Libra people, Libra female in particular, is that they're kind of like, ooh, how should I put it? They're picky. They're picky with people. The funny thing is that they're known to be the social butterflies, but I think Libra females are social butterflies with the people that they just want to be social butterflies with, if that makes sense. But I would describe Libra females as the racist of the astrology signs. Now, it could not be true, it could be just my imagination, But the thing about them is that when it comes to female friends, they tend to be very picky. But when it comes to males, they like being around males. So what does that mean? I'm not saying that Libra females are hoes or something, but they tend to be superficial in the way they pick people. Like, for example, if they know that they're pretty and, they met another person, they're not going to, and, that person is not super pretty just like them, they're not going to make an effort to be friends with that person because they feel like, oh, she's not the same page as me, or, we're not on the same level. Again, that's why I said that they can be pretty much, maybe racist is not really the right term, but, they kind of like remind me of racist. I met this one Libra female before, and my friends decided to kind of like, join her in my circle of friends. And I said my because I created that circle of friends. So I got the chance to meet her. So, I tried to be very friendly with her. So I was like, hi, nice to meet you, kind of thing, which is very rare for me because I usually don't like initiating conversations with people. So, I tried my best to be very warm and friendly to her. I smiled at her, and her reaction, she just stared at me, and she kind of like looked down on me and ignored me. And at that point of time, I was like, it's not really a big problem for me because I usually don't care about people, but the thing is, if someone is being friendly to you and made an effort to be friends with you, you should reciprocate that. You shouldn't look down on them and be like, because the way she's looking at me at that time, she's like, how should I explain her look? It seems like she's judging me by the way I look. That's how I can describe it. And, she's like, oh, I don't want to be friends with you. So at that point in time, I got pissed off. I started ignoring her. I started, kind of like pretending that her existence doesn't really exist because in the first place, I don't care about her existence. She's just a piece of speck in my life. And I was right about her being toxic because ever since she joined the friendship or the friend group that we made, she started creating a lot of rifts. She started creating a lot of dramas, and she's just because of a single guy, she's very obsessed with this one guy, and she's like, I don't know, like she's just creating tons of drama. And a lot of people, a lot of females or a lot of girls really likes that guy, and they're like, oh, he likes me, no, he likes me, something like that. And I'm like, guys, calm down, he's interested in me.
Stop it, get some help.
Just kidding. But I don't understand why they're fighting over one guy who looks like a fucking goose. Like seriously, it's crazy because she's a Libra female and she is arguing with another Libra female and they like the same freaking guy. So it makes a lot of sense that Libra females, I don't want to say, oh my gosh, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that Libra females are hoes, but they are the type of people who's willing to, break friendships just for the sake of a guy. So, Libra males, I have to redo my statement, observations, and shits about you because I'm doing this in a different day. And I realize because I can't even phrase my words because I'm not really in the mood to talk right now. I'm in a very pissed mood. Anyway, what I'm saying is that I just realized that in my last video, my microphone gave up on me, and I guess that's just a sign from the universe that I should stop talking shit and wasting people's time. But they don't care. They don't care. People don't care. I'm gonna talk whatever I want to say in this channel, okay? I sound like a manipulative person. Anyway, so with Libra males, what I notice about them is I feel like they're the real social butterflies more than Libra females, because they're usually very warm. They have this very magnetic, charismatic energy about them, and it's not really hard to fall in love with Libra males as well. And what I also notice is that they're usually very nice to women, because I think they're I'm not even sure. Like I said, I don't really have any much idea about astrology, but I think they're the Casanova out of all the astrology signs. So they may be really good in relationships, like they're ideal for relationships, but it's obvious that they're not really good for long-term relationships. I actually like Libra males' company, like their energy and the way they interact with people, except for one specific Libra male motherfucker in here. Because that Libra male is just not the most... I don't know, I hate him. And it's creepy because he's like... So I know this one Libra male before who's pretty creepy because he's interested in every freaking girl in our class. And I said in our class because I'm still a student. So, I'm still studying, I'm still a kid, I'm still a baby. So like I was saying, this freaking dude is interested in every freaking girl in our class except for one female. And that girl is me. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna be taking it as an insult or as a compliment, because at one point it could be a compliment because maybe he finds me intimidating, or maybe he finds me like not really on the same page as him and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I can also interpret that as an insult, because maybe I'm the most ugliest girl in class. That's why he doesn't even give a fuck about me or something like that. But I don't really give a fuck about his opinions. I don't care about his existence in this world, just like that Libra female I've met before. And it's funny because I'm roasting him right now when he's just my neighbor. He just lives next house. And I would always see him, not always, but I would see him from time to time. We would stare at each other and I'm like, "Oh, Romeo, oh, Juliet." It's funny because that's so stupid. I'm not really hating on him just because he doesn't have any interest in me. But I guess I don't like him because there was a really bad issue between us. Because I guess the reason why he doesn't like me out of all the girls is because I'm the only girl in class who's not afraid of him, who doesn't have any problems of messing with him. Because he's a freaking terror. Like, Libra males are usually warm, but he's a freaking terror. Like, a lot of males, a lot of females, even teachers are scared of him because he's physically abusive. It's quite normal for a Leo to be an asshole in their day-to-day life, and it's unfortunately... Wow, I said that in a very British accent? Well, unfortunately. The funny thing is that everyone around me are like, "Oh my gosh, maybe he's your soulmate," or "Oh my gosh, maybe he's gonna be your future husband," and all that kind of stuff. Like, fuck it. I would rather die single my whole life than deal with that bullshit. Anyway, what I notice about Libra females is that they have a very sweet energy about them. Like, a lot of people will fall in love with Libra males and Libra females because they have this they're usually, I wouldn't say that all of them are good looking, but they're usually very pleasing, or you just want to hang out with them all the time because I don't know, there's something really, they're like candies. And I'm not sure if I already said it in the last video, but Libra females are like sweet candies. I still have one Libra story though, but I should just skip that part because this introduction is the longest introduction I've ever seen in my life. So let's get on to, where is that shit in there? Why didn't I even... Okay, Sagittarius. Oh my gosh. I'm not going to be talking about Scorpio, by the way, because I don't really have so much idea about Scorpios. Strange enough, I still haven't interacted with a Scorpio. I mean, maybe I've talked to some Scorpios, but it's like, hi, hello, goodbye kind of thing. It's not really like, I've been super exposed to them. So I think I'm going to skip Scorpio. So the last one is Sagittarius people. So I like Sagittarius people because, again, they're fire signs. But I'm not super exposed to Sagittarius males, but with Sagittarius females, I really know them. And what I notice about them is that they're usually the ones who always got their shit together. Like, if there's going to be some sort of zombie apocalypse, they are going to be the first ones to have a solution to your problems. They always have your back kind of energy. And they always, I don't know, you can always feel safe when you're around with them. That's why I really like their presence. And I also notice about Sagittarius females, or maybe Sagittarius in general, is that they're very practical beings and they're more focused on the material stuff. So the ironic thing about them is that, they will be like, oh, I can't hang out right now because, this is life. We need to save money. We need to be practical and all that kind of stuff. But the next day, you're going to just figure out that they wasted tons of money on clothes or on, other material stuff. So that's pretty interesting about them. What I also noticed, this is something funny because I asked someone before that, I asked what's her Venus sign, and she told me that Sagittarius people are commitment phobes, or Sagittarius Venus is a commitment phobe. And I was like, I didn't know Sagittarius people are commitment phobes, because I've always interpreted them as someone who would, that's also what I noticed about them, is that they would surround themselves with a lot of love options or love interests, but at the same time, they do not really settle for those people because they're quite picky, or that's just how I perceive them. They're quite, they have high standards for a person, and they do not fall for people very easily. I would describe them as the jack of all trades because they're pretty talented in a lot of things, or they can do a lot of stuff that most normal people cannot do. And yeah, I think Sagittarius people are known to be the jack of all trades or something like that. They're like one of those people who would support you in your bullshit. Like, in what you, even if it's not, I don't know if it's just me, but most of my Sagittarius female friends, they always support me in everything that I do, even though sometimes it seems stupid or, And with Sagittarius males, I'm not sure, because I have this, maybe this is not true about Sagittarius males, but I have this perception about them that they can be quite strict, serious, and dominant. I don't know if that's true, but I always viewed them like they're not the type to be messed with. I've seen Sagittarius males, and what I notice about them is they're quite scary to interact with. And yeah, they're also very picky with, girls that they are going to be interested in. They would be the type of guys out there who gets in a relationship and then they're going to be like, oh my gosh, why are you wearing that kind of dress? But I feel like even though they're like, get it out to the world and shit, I feel like they can be quite conservative in their relationships. So, yeah. I don't know, Sagittarius males. I have no idea what kind of person you are. So yeah, I think that's all for this stupid introduction in here. I wasted tons of time filming this introduction. So let's get on to your choices now. So for pile number 1, you got this one little cookie. For pile number 2, you got this 2 little cookie. And for pile number 3, you got this 3 little cookie. And for pile number 4, you got this 4 little cookie. Okay, so choose your choice, and I'm gonna be going on to pile number 1. Okay, so for those who chose pile number 1, what is your person's love language? So if you have skipped the introduction, this is not just going to be about the love language, because this is also going to be their current actions towards you, just to see if something about their actions right now is kind of like coinciding to their love language and they're showing you some sort of interest in there. And with this card, it's also going to talk about your current connection with this person. And of course, if you don't really have any connection with this person just yet, because this is pretty general, where you can ask like a random stranger that you're just interested in, something like that. If you don't really have any connection with this person just yet, you can skip the part where I'm going to talk about their current action towards you, because you don't need to freaking fit everything in your life. So let's get started with this card. So you got camera, reminiscing, keepsake, perception, learn from the past, and make memories. So I'm getting different kinds of scenarios in here, where for some of you, this could possibly someone from the past and you had some sort of history with. I don't want to say that this could be an ex, because it would be stupid if you're asking like, what is your ex's love language, when you have already dealt with them. So, and you don't have to limit yourself. It could be an ex, but this could be also someone from social media. So maybe you met this person, or maybe you're stalking, or the both of you are stalking each other or talking in social media right now. And for another parts of you, this could be someone from like a physical distance. Could also be emotional distance, but I'm more getting like physical distance. But I feel like you're kind of like close to this person. You had some sort of memory or past with this person, or history with this person. And I feel like if this is a separation kind of thing in here, the both of you are still hanging on to each other. The both of you, of course, this is the general connection in here, so I do see that the both of you are still thinking about each other. I'm getting like different people in here, where for some of you, you have no contact with this person, and for half of you, you have some sort of contact with this person. But yeah, so let's see their current action towards you. So you got a blank archetype, so I'm gonna be putting it there because I got another archetype, and this is child magical, light attributes, seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, the belief that everything is possible. You also got shadow attributes, pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles, believing that energy and action are not required for growth. So it's in reverse, so I'm going to be reading the shadow attributes in here. And before that, I'm going to be laying all the cards in here, because I'm trying to make this reading pretty short in here. So you got being chased, and knife, the Four of Swords. So what I'm getting from the child magical in here, whether you are, it will be pretty hard to read this person's actions, especially if you just met this person in social media or you're at a distance from this person. But it doesn't have to be their current action towards you. It could be also their past action towards you when you are still in physical contact with this person, especially if this person is someone from the past. But I do see that this person is possibly very distant from you. With the knife in here, it gives me a very vigilant energy, so it's possible that they're very cautious with their words, with their action towards you. This person is, with this being chase card in here, they're very avoidant from you. Maybe you're trying to reach out to this person, because I'm getting this kind of like friendly energy from pile number 1. I don't know why. It's not going to resonate for all of you, but it's possible that for some of you, you're trying to, be open to this person or be more approachable to this person, but this person kept on running away from you, whether it's physically or just energetic wise. Because with the Four of Swords in here, I do see that this person is pretty much, when you try to talk to them, they're pretty kept to themselves. They come off as withdrawn from you. And with this knife in here is also talking about like a very blunt communication. So if you try talking to this person, you will notice how they talk to you in a very blunt way, or in a very, they kind of like avoid to have long conversations with you. Maybe this person is naturally like this, like maybe they are an introvert, or maybe they're just, maybe they're not really good with interacting. If you know this person in person, you might notice that the way they communicate with you is pretty, how should I put it? I don't want to say snarky, but it's kind of like intimidating to talk to this person. And if you met this person in social media, because I'm also getting that with the camera card, it is possible that, they may be sending you very short messages, responses, or their communication doesn't seem like very enthusiastic in some ways. It kind of seems cold or dry. I don't know. Because there's a lot of cold energy from this person. By the way, they could be an air sign, doesn't have to be. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I feel like this person tries to be neutral around you. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of stagnancy from this person. They can be quite awkward with you. I wouldn't be surprised if you find this person to be very hard to pin down, or to read, or to be even close with, because this person is possibly even doing that on purpose as well. Maybe it's also a part of them, like natural for them to be this way, but I'm also getting that it's possible that they're doing this on purpose. Because maybe they just don't really know how to act around you. Yeah, with this, I don't know if this is purple or magenta. I'm not sure. But it reminds me of, intuition, the crown chakra. So this person is very intuitive. I'm getting a very timid, introvert, quiet vibe about this person. So let's see what is this person's love language though. So you got poet, light attribute expresses soul insights in symbolic language. Shadow attribute turns a lyric gift to negative or destructive effect. Right off the bat, I actually like this person's love language. You got Aries. You also got prosperity begins. Let me just remove this shit. You also got third eye chakra. And scarab beetle. 10 of branches, which is the 10 of swords. Not 10 of swords, the 10 of wands in traditional tarot. So I'm seeing fire in here. So Leo, Sagittarius, and specifically Aries in here. Could also be an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I don't know. I mentioned before that this person is quite intuitive. And then you got third eye chakra in here. So maybe this person is kind of like psychic like in here. It doesn't have to be. But I feel like one of this person's love language is when they try to... How should I put it? They just know. Okay? There's something about them that just understands you in some ways. Your needs, your desires, what you want. Even if you're not telling them, they can just read your mind in some ways. One of this person's love language is when they try to be patient with you. When they try to, try to understand you in some ways. Even if sometimes, because you got fire energy in here, and fire signs tend to be impatient. So this person tries to... The thing that I heard a while ago is step in your level. So this person trying to meet you halfway in here and trying to be patient with you, trying to comprehend your differences as well. I feel like this person enjoys being generous. And I'm just gonna say this person has a hard time expressing themselves, because I have a hard time. This is a very simple pile, but for some reason I find it very hard to read. But I feel like this person is not the most, even though you got the poet in here, I feel like this person is not like one of those people like, oh, I love you so much, you're the most beautiful person I've ever met in my life, in a very verbal way, if that makes sense. I feel like they tend to express their love language using their body language, like using their actions. They're not really about words in here. And I also feel like they're the type of people to express themselves, like using their creative talents. Like, for example, if they're not the type of people to be, super lovey-dovey towards you, they can do that by writing a very creative poem for you. Or, yeah, because you got poet in here. But this person, I feel like this person has a very vast mind. They have a very unique perception about things. And I feel like, this person can be quite poetic in the way they express themselves to you. Like, oh, you're my moon, you're the star of my life, you're the sun in my sunshine, and something like that. But they do it using, again, like poetries, like drawing, something like that. And it's so strange because I'm not really feeling. I usually feel a little bit of energies when I read the cards, but with this pile, I don't feel anything at all. So there's something very neutral about this person. They're not super exaggerated and dramatic in relationships or in connections. They got their shit together. Their way of expressing themselves is not the usual type. I also feel like since you got symbolic language in here, this person's love language is quite indirect. They do not say it right in front of you, like, I like you. They do it in a very, that kind of one of those situations where this person tells you a joke, but you have no idea that they're already expressing their love to you. So, you have to be very intuitive with this person. And you also got third eye chakra in here, so you have to be very keen, because it's quite hard to read this person's love language. I also feel like this person, with the Aries in here and this 10 of branches, it gave me an idea that this person is pretty touchy. So when you get into a connection with this person, or in a relationship, or like a deep connection or relationship or dating, whatever the case may be, with this person, they like touching you, or I feel like this person likes giving hugs. I also feel like this is the kind of person to do things for you even though it's pretty difficult. Okay, they will sacrifice a lot of things just for you, or for anyone, if they have a connection with anyone at all. But I feel like one of this person's love language as well is by trying to be very honest with you, because again, a while ago I do see that this person is quite blunt. So this person will try to be, try to not lie to you, even though it's pretty hard not to lie to people, to anyone at all. But this person will try their best not to lie. This person can be quite stoic in the way they express themselves to you. Even if for example, if they offer something to you, it's not the most romantic kind of offer. It's quite awkward in some ways, but everything that they will give to you makes a lot of sense, has a lot of sentimental value. This person could be sexual, but I don't feel like they're the type of people to express that to you. Let me just look at this. Do it your own way. Yeah, this person is pretty, they have a very unique way of expressing themselves. I also feel like this person is pretty mature in relationships or in connections. So I think that's all that I'm seeing for this person, though. Hopefully that resonates, and that'll be all. So for those who chose pile number 2, what is your person's love language? So if you have skipped the introduction, this is not just going to be their love language, because this is also going to be their current action towards you, just to see if their love language is coinciding to their action towards you right now. And also, these cards in here are going to indicate your connection with this person right now. And if you don't really have any connection with this person at the moment, and this is just a random person or whatever the case may be, skip that part. Skip the part where I'm going to talk about their actions. So let's get started with these 2 cards first. So you got addiction, codependent, obsession, possession, controlling, has a block, and restraint. You also got palm tree, stability, security, permanence, growth, endurance, and flexibility. For some reason, the first thing that came into my mind is that there's something manipulative about this connection. Now, it could be you, it could be them. So I feel like there's a lot of stagnancy when it comes to your connection right now, because there's a lot of controlling from one or both sides as well. I feel like the both of you might be playing safe in this connection, pretty guarded. That's why it cannot really move forward with this card in here. It's like one of those situations where one person in here is depending on the other person in order for this connection to move forward, when in fact the both of you should be making an effort in here. But it's not really happening, because I'm also getting like one person in here. It's pretty hard to read a card when you only got 2 cards in here, but it's possible that one person in here is also restraining themselves from moving forward in this connection. And I feel like there's something about this connection that's pretty draining. So let's see, what is this person's current action towards you? So you got artist, light attributes expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the 5 senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically. Shadow attributes, using talent as an excuse to mistreat others, posing as the starving artist to elicit pity. It's funny because in pile number 1, the poet came out, and now the artist came out in here. So you also got this card, cheating on a partner. And you also got history. Eel. It's funny. This woman has this eel in her hands, and then you got this eel as well. I'm not sure if, oh, this is not eel, this is a snake. And then you got the queen of, not queen, but justice card in reverse. And the page of swords. So I put all of the cards in here in patterns for me because there's something quite, I don't know why these readings in here kept on giving me headaches. Just like in pile number 1, it's pretty hard to interpret, but I'm seeing here that it's possible that you are in communication with this person right now, and you may be even, I feel like you're having meaningful conversations with this person for some reason, because you got the artist and the history. So it's possible that you have known this person for quite some time now. And I feel like the way they express themselves to you is quite eccentric, or is not the usual type. I feel like this person is pretty open in conversations with you, but I don't feel like in terms of the connection, the romantic connection that you have with this person, I don't feel like they're very open with how they feel. But I feel like this person, how should I put it? Because I'm getting like a confusing, I don't know if I already said it, but you might find this person confusing. Because with this eel, it's almost like, just like in pile number 1, this person might be hard to understand or comprehend, or hard to pin down as well. I think that's just the same thing, but there's something about them that's kind of like hot and cold in here. There's something like a sneaky energy about this person, so you may have this feeling that this person is not being honest about something. It doesn't have to be that they're really cheating on you just because you got this card, but maybe they're just not really being honest with how they feel, because you got the Justice in reverse in here, and then you got the Page of Swords. So it's almost like this person can be really hot and heavy with you at times, and then the next day this person is kind of like avoiding you. They're kind of like all over the place in here. Yeah, I said communicative, and you got the Page of Swords in here, so it's possible that this person, is really good at, you have a very good interaction with this person. The thing is, the first thing that came into my mind a while ago is that this person tends to be very mature in the way they interact with you, but at times they can be quite immature. I don't know, maybe you have some sort of perception that this person is unfair to you, or is playing mind games with you. It's also possible. Yeah, I feel like with this card and this card and this card, there's something like playing mind games in here. And yeah, I said not being fair to you. You got Justice in reverse in here. This person could be an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. It doesn't have to be. I feel like you're mirroring this person, because I cannot pick up if this is how you perceive them, or if this is really how they're acting towards you. Because I feel like this person is very distrusting of you, and I feel like you is also very distrusting of this person, because the way they're coming off is like hot and cold. I feel like this person is definitely holding themselves a lot right now. There is some sort of truth that they want to tell you, but they're choosing to shut their mouth. There's also a big indication in here that this person is keeping tabs on you. If you have social media, this person, is always checking up on you. I feel like this person does have the tendency to flirt with you at times. And then they pull themselves back. For some of you, I'm also getting that this person could act like a guide to you, because you got Artist in here, and it says inspiring others to see life symbolically, and you got History in here. I don't know if this is a teacher or they're a mentor, because they're really good at communicating, and they kind of like inspire you in some ways, or they teach you something. It doesn't have, maybe it could be literally like teaching you, but it could also mean that they're just, giving you some words of wisdom in here. Let's see what is this person's love language, because it's giving me a freaking headache. I don't understand this person. They're quite strange. So you got Heroine, light attribute, passion for a journey of personal empowerment, and shadow attribute, escapism, and a false sense of heroism. And then you got Mars. Love begins in reverse. And Cat, knower of secrets, which is the high priestess in the traditional tarot. Okay, it makes sense when I said earlier that this person could be a teacher or a mentor for you. It doesn't have to be literally, it could just mean like metaphorically. Because I feel like this person's love language in here is that they're not, just like in palm number 1, they're not really the most expressive person. Like, they're not the most emotional person when it comes to connections or relationships, but they are like a really good support system. You can climb in, how should I put it? This person will help you climb up to your success because there's something very motivating about this person. This is the kind of person to push you to your limits or to inspire you to do better in life, because you got Mars in here, and Mars is also, all about willpower, I think. So I feel like this person tends to push you to your limits using, how should I put it, using their words in some ways, if that makes sense. They do not really control you to do something, but it's more of, this person knows a lot of things. They have a lot of knowledge. By the way, they could be Pisces or Aries. I'm seeing water in here, so Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, and Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. You could be those signs, or a person could be those signs, but it doesn't have to be. But since this person has a lot of knowledge that they have acquired, they're very intuitive. I feel like, they like inspiring people. I feel like this is the kind of person who likes to do things in a relationship with their partners, because some people like to do things on their own even though they're in a relationship. But with this person, I feel like they want this equality in a connection or in a relationship, and this person will always want you, for the both of you, to climb at the top together. This person is pretty, I don't want to say sacrificing, but I feel compelled to say that this person is very selfless. Like, this is the kind of person to move mountains for you, no matter how difficult it is. Like, this person will do a lot of big efforts if they're really interested, or if they really, care for you. I'm also getting a lot of sexual energy from this person. So this person's love language is possibly like, physical kind of affection in here. I feel like this person likes to have deep talks with you, or to the person that they're interested in. This is the kind of person who will always want to be the one to, if you get into a relationship with this person, they are the ones who always wants to initiate things or do things for you, provide things for you. Whether this is a male or a female, it doesn't really matter. This person wants to be the leader of the connection or relationship. They always want to be the one to be in control. They want you to be kind of like submissive to them, but at the same time, it doesn't really mean that this person wants to be ahead of you, because like I said a while ago, this person wants to climb at the top with you or with anyone that they are going to be involved with. But it's just the fact that they want to be the dominant one, because this person has a lot of drive, I also feel like one of this person's love language is by helping you a lot, being a service to you. I'm getting a lot of supportive energy from this person. I also feel like this person, maybe they're quite secretive in here. And I feel like when they try to tell you some stuff in their life, like in their personal life, that's one of their love language. And I feel like they also like to know more about you. They're quite curious. I also feel like this person will try to be compassionate with you. Even if they're not, because this is, I think the high priestess is Pisces. And Pisces is a water sign, so, and the high priestess is pretty stoic in here. They got their shit together, so I feel like this person, they may not be showy with how they feel towards you, but I feel like the way they show their interest or the way they show their love to you is by trying to be compassionate about the situation with you or just about you. Like, this is the kind of person who will never tell you to change. They will just try to, empower you more. So yeah, so I think that's all for this reading though. Hopefully that resonates, and that will be all. So for those who chose pile number 3, what is your person's love language? So if you have skipped the introduction, this is not just going to be their love language, because this is also going to be their actions towards you, like possibly currently, but at the same time, this card in here is going to represent your connection with this person. If you don't have any connection with this person right now, you don't have to watch the part where I'm going to describe their actions towards you, especially if you're just asking about a random person or, a random stranger or whatever the case may be. So yeah. So for your first card, you got Cupid's arrow. Have faith, love is coming, surprise invitation or meeting, hesitation. From this card, I'm getting like a waiting kind of thing in here. So maybe there's a lot of anticipation for this connection to move forward. And at the same time, there's also a lot of hesitation from maybe one or both sides. But also maybe one or both of you are kind of like having a blind faith about this connection, that this is going to, move in a positive direction. Because I feel like there could be uncertainty about this connection right now. Like one or both of you is not really sure where this connection is going to head. But at the same time, there's something about I'm getting mixed energies in here. It's really hard to read, especially if you just have one card in here. But I feel like there's this one or both of you might be wanting to take action in here, to take the leap of faith, but at the same time, there's a lot of hesitation. There's a lot of waiting. I don't know, there's something brewing about this connection right now. It's kind of like blooming in here. It feels like something is about to happen, but it's not yet happening. And you might feel that. So expect the unexpected for this connection. So let's see, what is this person's current action towards you? So you got teacher. It's funny because in pile number 2 I said teacher. So you got light attribute, ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. Shadow attributes, manipulating or abusing students, teaching negative traits, and destructive skills. So I'm gonna be laying all the cards in here. So you got food or drink, you also got teacup, the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. I'm getting like there's this friendly nature about this. Like this person might be acting very warm and friendly towards you. I'm getting like, I don't know if this is color green or something, but the color green is always representing the heart chakra. So I feel like this person, how should I put it? The way they are expressing themselves to you is not super romantic. I'm not seeing that. But it's more of being very nice to you, being very warm to you. Like, you know, you might be getting special treatment from this person. I feel like this person is not really being completely open to you as well. I feel like in pile number 1 up to pile number 3, this person is not really being open in some ways. Especially when it comes to the matters of the heart, this person is not really, you know, telling anything about it to you. How they feel. They're more of, they have this very casual energy, like, oh, let's talk about the weather or something like that. And the thing is, I had this idea that you could be friends with this person with this teacup. It doesn't have to be. But there's this lighthearted energy. And the thing is, the funny thing is that this person might be, you know, being super nice to you and friendly. But at the same time, I don't feel like this person is offering you something stable as well. Let me just read this card. I feel like this person doesn't really know how to demonstrate how they feel. I don't know, but with this teacup card again, I feel like this person is almost telling you that they want to take things slow with you. And, you know, just enjoy the moment, kind of like savoring each second of the moment. By the way, you might be, for some of you, you might be dating this person. It doesn't have to be. Because for some of you, I'm almost getting like this person could be someone that you're dating right now, but at the same time, you don't know if this person can offer you something stable in here. Because it's almost like they're just in the connection for the sake of experiencing romance, if that makes sense. Or not really experiencing romance, but you know, they just want to have fun and not really have anything serious with you. Let me just read this. Yeah, they're not really communicative about how they feel. But let's see what is this person's love language. Because this one is pretty straightforward, but at the same time, I'm not really getting so many actions from this person. So you got companion, light attributes, loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness. You also got shadow attributes in here, betrayal by misusing confidences, loss of personal identity. And then you got first house. Emotional loss, and octopus, 8 of shells, which is the 8 of cups in reverse. Okay, so this person could be a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. It doesn't have to be. But I feel like this person, I'm not sure about the first house though, because I don't really have any idea about astrology. But this one is, there's this very motherly energy about this person. Whether they are a male or a female, it doesn't really matter. I feel like this person One of their love language is when they are very, you know, they're clingy. Is that clingy or clingy? They're very clingy. They always want to be around you. I feel like this person tends to get really worried when you're not in their vicinity, when you're out of sight. I feel like this is the kind of person to, text you from time to time just to ask how you're doing at work, or, they they're not really good for long distance relationships because they always want to be physically around you. I feel like this person is pretty flexible in here, very adaptable. This is the kind of person who will never be superficial in relationships or in connections. They're not the type of people to, ask for a lot from you. Like, for example, if you give them something, some people will find it like, some people will not really appreciate it. But with this person, they're very appreciative of you or whatever you give them. I also feel like this person is quite sensitive in here. They easily get hurt, so you just need to be a little bit careful with what you tell them, because they have this is a very straightforward love language in here. It's not really difficult to understand, unlike pile number 1, because with this person, I feel like, their love language is just by showing how they care for you. I feel like this person is very sweet and very expressive when they get into a deep connection or relationship with you. But right now, since you don't really have any deep relationship or connection with this person just yet, this person is not really open with how they feel. But once you get to know them, I feel like they're very fragile. I feel like this is the kind of person who will want to have kids with you. Whether you like kids or not, you're gonna they like kids. They want to have a family, like a traditional family. I feel like this is the kind of person who will never, I don't want to say never cheat on you, because every person in this world can cheat on their partners when they get caught up in the moment, if that makes sense. And with this person, I feel like they're very faithful though. Even though it says loyalty, I'm not getting that. It's more of this person really afraid of, once they get into a commitment with someone, I feel like this person is not really the type of person to, let's just say this person is faithful. And just like in pile number 2, this person is going to accept your differences, which is quite rare, which is really rare. But I feel like this person, I don't know why I'm getting like a very feminine energy from this pile. It doesn't have to be that this person is a woman, but I'm getting that same sex energy again. So you might be asking about the same sex kind of person in here. It doesn't have to be, but this is a very emotional person. I also feel like one of this person's love language is when they try to be sensitive of you. With yellow in here, this person might be quite jealous. I'm not really seeing a super jealous, possessive, territorial kind of person. But, this person will always try to be authentic and genuine with you. This is not the kind of person to impress you. Like, whatever they look, whatever they are, they're going to stay that way. I don't feel like they're the type of people to, fix themselves for 5 hours and, just to impress you that they're beautiful or that they're good looking. But they're pretty kind of laid back in some ways. Or I don't know if I already said it, but this person is not really superficial. For some of you, you might like this kind of love language, and for half of you, you might not really like it, because this person can be very clingy. That's the only thing. That's the main thing that I'm getting in here. This person is scared of... They may have abandonment issues as well. That's why, you know, they prefer you being around them. But yeah, so that's what I'm seeing there. Hopefully that resonated, and that'll be all. So for pile number 4, what is your person's love language? So if you have skipped the introduction, this is not just going to be about their love language, but also how they are acting towards you. And also, this card in here will represent their current connection with you. And if you don't really have any connection with this person right now, and maybe you're just asking a random person that you're curious about, you can skip this part. So let's get started with this card first. So you got sunglasses. Watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting, perception, focusing out. So this one is pretty self-explanatory in here, that I don't know why I think all of the piles in here are pretty stagnant in some ways, but you know, for some of you, you might be just admiring this person, or you know, you might be admiring each other from afar, stalking this person. There's a lot of stalking. I'm not really getting so much about this, but let's see their action towards you, because I'm not really getting much about the connection. So you got child wounded. Light attributes awakens compassion and desire to serve other. Wounded children opens the learning path of forgiveness. Shadow attributes blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds. Resist moving on true forgiveness. Okay. And then you got a blank archetype in here, so I'm just gonna be putting it here. And then you got this card, flowers. You also got loss and the High Priestess in reverse. While I was shuffling, this is the pile that I was really drawn to when I was shuffling for some reason. But the thing about this person is that I feel like they're pretty open to you. I feel like this person somehow expressed something to you, like something romantic to you. And you also got the High Priestess in reverse in here. So, you know, like, this person is trying to be truthful to you in some ways. I feel like this person is pretty genuine with you. Like, they're very compassionate and caring, and what is this? I forgot, but they're very caring and compassionate towards you. Okay, so I'm getting 2 things in here. But for some of you, this person may have had a very rough past, like a childhood past in here. And I feel like, how should I put it? I don't really see that as a relation to this person's action towards you, but okay, let me just continue. But this person may have experienced a lot of loss in their life as a child or in the past, and I feel like that made them to be much more compassionate in the present moment, and you can actually see that. And it's funny because I said this person is genuine towards you, and you got the High Priestess in reverse in here. So I feel like this person is trying their best to be honest with you about their intentions or their thoughts or how they feel, whatever the case may be. And since this is Pisces, maybe how they feel, like they're being, again, because with these flowers in here, the first thing that came into my mind is that they express their feelings to you in some way. But like I said, with the loss in here, maybe this person have dealt with a difficult situation before, and that kind of like made them to be a better person in the present moment. But I'm also getting that this person might be hurt. Now, I'm not sure if you rejected this person or something, but this person, I don't even know, because I'm not clarifying the cards. So maybe I'm gonna clarify the cards. Okay, so before I even clarify the cards in here, with this sunglasses card, I feel like it's only indicating as well that there's a lot of, just like the other piles, where there's a lot of waiting in this connection, and there's a lot of observing, like, you know, just seeing things of how it will go. But at the same time, I don't feel like there is action being taken from your side, or maybe from both sides. Although I feel like this person is really expressing something to you. Let me just figure this out. Okay. This one is pretty clear in here. So I'm getting two things in here again. So for some of you, you might have rejected this person, and this person, you can see in their actions that they're hurt. And for others of you, it's possible that this person, I'm getting like a very fragile energy from this person, like a very childlike energy. I feel like this person serves as like a pillar for you for some reason. Yeah. There's something about this person, I don't want to say inspire you, but there's something about them comforting you, or supporting you, helping you out. For others of you as well, this person might be even helping you to heal from past traumas in here. But let's see their love language. I don't know why I don't really understand this. I think all the piles in here, I don't really understand anything at all. So you got scribe, preserving knowledge and information. Light attribute, that's the light attribute. Shadow attribute, altering facts and plagiarizing others' work. You also got Capricorn, and rest and rejuvenate. Harmony in reverse. And stork, ace of feathers, which is the ace of swords in traditional tarot. Okay, so the thing about this person is that one of this person's love language, I feel like all of the piles in here are not super lovey-dovey in some ways. I think pile number 1, or I think pile number 3 is the only very loving pile. But I feel like with pile number 4, your person is pretty kept to themselves. I feel like they're not super verbal about how they feel as well. Kind of similar to pile number 1. I feel like this is the kind of person to, if they have problems in their life, even if you're together or even if you're, I don't know, there's something about this person that is not super sharing of their what's happening in their life. They're pretty secretive in some ways. But it's because they don't really want to burden the other person. I feel like if you get into a relationship with this person, they're quite independent in some ways. They're not like the most, I'm getting a very zen energy from this person, very quiet energy. Like, they're not the type of people to, like, be excited to see you and, talk about everything that happened in their work, something like that. But the other thing that came into my mind with this scribe in here is that they're very dedicated to you. I also feel like with the stork in here, this person is possibly like, they're going to be very hands-on and very focused on you when you get into a connection with this person. Like, this person is going to be tunnel vision. Like, they're never going to be attracted to other people because they're only going to be attracted to you. Yeah, it's funny because I said focus and you got focusing in this card in here, and dedication. So I'm getting a lot of earth energy from this person. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I'm also seeing a lot of air, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, specifically Gemini, with the harmony in reverse in here. And then you also got Capricorn for earth. But I don't feel like there's anything bad about this person. I don't feel like they're a bad partner. But it's just the fact that I feel like this person is the kind of person who will never, if you get into an argument with this person, I don't feel like this person will try to raise their voice towards you and, like, pick fights with you. Although that can be quite unavoidable, but I feel like with this person, they hate confrontations. They prefer peace in a connection. And it's funny because this is the only pile that I feel very easy to interpret the messages, because in pile number, what is that? In all of the piles, like in pile number 1 up to pile number 3, I cannot seem to express myself that much. But with this pile, it seems like this person, is pretty upfront with what they want with you. I feel like this person is, how should I put it? I don't want to say blunt or something. But I feel like this is the kind of person to give you massage or something like that when you're from a very exhausting day. I feel like this person does feel a lot for a person, does feel a lot for a partner, but I don't feel like they're the type of people to really put that out there. This is kind of like, again, similar to pile number 1, where they might do it in a way where they will write a very cute letter and just express themselves, like, write a poem and express themselves to you in that way, like in their creative talents, or maybe, like, write a song for you. I feel like this is the kind of person to be like, because there's something very workaholic about their energy, so they tend to be very focused on work. And I feel like one of their love language is when they try to be the provider for you, whether it's a male or a female. There's something about them wanting to be useful in the material world. Wanting to be useful with your needs or your desires, but not really in a way where they will be very loving towards you, if that makes sense. And I don't know why it's so freaking ironic, because their actions towards you is almost like expressing something to you, but at the same time, when it comes to their love language, that's so strange. Maybe they're kind of like, I feel like this person is pretty low-key about how they feel. They're not super, like over the top or exaggerated about the way they express to you. I don't feel like this person is super controlling or manipulative in here. This is the kind of person to, will let you do whatever you want, as long as it's not going to ruin the relationship, if that makes sense. This person is pretty chill about everything in here. I also feel like this person may not really have so much time to make love with you, if that makes sense, or to make love with partners, because they're pretty self-focused. And yeah, Capricorn. So it's not that they're selfish, I don't feel like it, but they're pretty used to being independent in here. So I feel like the connection might feel stoic in some ways, or relationship might feel stoic, because this person, this is the kind of person like, as long as you're with me, as long as I can see you and talk to you, I'm fine with it. They're not the type of person to be like, oh, I want to have sex with you all night, all day, whatever case may be. They're not for that shit. And some of you might be saying like, oh, there's no such thing as, like a person like that. There is a person like that. Is that impotent? I don't know, like, I don't want to say this person doesn't have any drive for sex or something like that, but I don't feel like they're the most passionate lovers that you can ever meet. Because for them, the most important thing in relationships is to not have any conflict or so much arguments with their partners. They just want peace. They just want stability. As long as everything is, as long as everything is organized, this person is fine with it. They don't need a relationship where, you're very passionate and all that kind of stuff, but you can't even have a stable life with them. You can't even, buy a house or buy a car or something like that. This person is more about the practicality. Oh, now it makes sense. With the lost card in here, where is that? With the lost card earlier, this is also indicating that this person might be a little bit confusing for you as well, because it's almost like in their perception or in their mind, they don't really know what to do in this connection. Even though they might be expressing themselves to you, they're trying their best to be honest with you. I feel like they're finding themselves to be lost in this connection, and you might also feel that they don't really know what they're doing. There's this energy about them that doesn't seem like super I don't want to say not authentic, but again, there's something about their actions that can be quite all over the place. And I don't know why all of the piles seems like it's kind of similar in some ways, but I'm trying to make sense about their actions towards you. It's almost like this person is, trying to express themselves to you in the best way that they can do, but they're not giving you, because I said earlier that this person is, trying to be honest with you about how they feel by expressing something to you, but at the same time, I feel like with the High Priestess in reverse earlier, it might only indicate that this person is not giving you the full detail in here as well. Like, that kind of situation where a person is, by action, that they're expressing something to you, a romantic gesture, but at the same time, they're not telling you that they love you. So there's a little bit of conflict with that, because their actions is pretty different from what they're telling you. I don't feel like this person is trying to deceive you, but because again, this person prefers to keep things to themselves. So yeah, I think that's all for this reading though. Hopefully that resonated, and that'll be